Hey everybody, June 8th, 15th day of our ride. We just got off 2 rest days in Chicago, so sorry that I haven't vlogged in 3 days, but I was just having a blast in a city that I'd never been to before. We had lunch in Zion on Tuesday with a guy named David Patfield. He took us out to Applebee's and got us a good lunch, and that was great. And then we were really surprised and kind of in awe of the beautiful pathways and trails that the suburbs of Chicago had. When I thought of Chicago, I guess in my mind, I thought of just people on top of people, just a huge city where, you didn't really have a lot of space, no green space, and, really austere, kind of cold environment. But I was completely wrong. It was a beautiful city. It was incredible. We arrived that night in a suburb called Vernon Hills, and we stayed with my good friend Paige Levy. She was one of my good friends since my sophomore year of college, and she just graduated this year and is looking for a job, so she was kind enough to let us stay with her and her family was very welcoming as well. So we had dinner, which was pasta at her place that night, and then got to swim in her pool and got to play her dad in ping pong, and I beat him once, but then he shellacked me the second game, so that was a good time. And then we woke up the next morning, and Paige had told us about a train station that we had seen on our way into our house that we could hop on and bike down into downtown Chicago. So, ride the train into downtown Chicago. So we hopped on that, and about an hour later, we were standing in downtown Chicago, which was just absolutely incredible. It was beautiful. I had forgotten that the river ran directly through the city, and that was awesome. And so me and Tripp and Will Garcia went to the art museum and got to see some really cool pieces and some really great art. And then from there, we basically just explored the city for a little while. We met up with all of our other guys who came down a little bit later. We woke up early because we wanted to spend as much time in the city as we could. So we went to a place for lunch called Illuminati's. I say it like that because Paige always said, Illuminati's. And I literally Googled Illuminati's instead of Illuminati. Anyways, it was great Chicago pizza, deep dish, wonderful, incredible. So that was a great experience. She'd actually got me a pizza from there before, and that's how I knew to go there. So it was really good. After that, we just kind of chilled and walked around Chicago for a little bit longer. We went to the Bean, of course, in Millennium Park, which is like, a tourist trap, but it's awesome. It was really cool to get to see that, and took a few profile pics for Facebook or what have you, but it was a good time. Then after that, we went back to Paige's and got our stuff, and then we went to another one of my friend's house. Her name's Dana Eckert. And she was in one of my classes this semester, and me and her got pretty close. And then, so she offered up that we could stay in her house for the last 2 nights. And so we've been hanging out with Dana and her family, who were just absolutely wonderful and also very welcoming. Her dad was into biking and canoeing and things, so I got to talk to him a lot about that. And her mom was just so sweet. So we got to hang out with some great people. Dana's also a triplet. So we got to meet her brother and her sister as well, and they kind of all dispersed when they went to college, so it was cool to get to talk to them as well. The next morning, me and Dana and Tripp, Sam and Will, we all went back to downtown Chicago, and we had a good time. We went to a grocery store to raise money. So this was like our event day in Chicago, even though we were really scrambling to put something together. It was just really hard to. There's a lot of rules that other cities didn't have, and Chicago was kind of a tough city to get things going in. So we went downtown and we went to a grocery store, and at first, it didn't seem like we were going to have much luck, but in the end, we turned out having a pretty good deal of luck, and we made a little bit under $400, I think, overall between us 2 groups. Our other group went to a different grocery store and did a little bit better because the one we went to was, like I said, downtown, and that was pretty tough. And then we went to a pizza place again, because I just don't think you can get enough Chicago pizza, and especially on rest days. And it was great. So spent another wonderful day in downtown Chicago, and then me and Dana went and saw the Avengers, which was sick. So overall, 2 really good rest days. And then last night we had, I'm ashamed to say, pizza for the 3rd time in 2 days. But it was okay, because we had it for dinner, and it was also very good. So Chicago was an absolute blast. And now we're back in Indiana, and it's good to be home, and I can't wait. One of my mom's friends, I have to give a shout out to him, Darren. You're the man for keeping up with all my blog posts and my updates. I hope your century went well the other day. That's insane. But today was a really easy ride for us. We only did about 60 miles today, and honestly, it was completely flat. We averaged almost 20, so we were done really early. Downside, it was really hot, and we're not used to that quite yet because we've been too far north. So now we're just having to experience what it's like to get to the church a little earlier and then pass out. I just woke up from like a 2-hour coma, and now I'm going to go to the store, get some hamburger helper, and cook all these hungry guys here some dinner. So I miss you guys. Mom, I love you. And Grandma, Grandpa, I love you guys. And Grandma Carol, thank you for keeping up and everything that you're doing. So I love you so much. And this has just been, it's been wonderful getting to hang out with Dana and Paige. And Chicago is a blast. And it's just cool to see, you know, you make friends with some people, and those connections will just help you through life. And it's also good to learn life lessons, like when you're asking for money outside of a grocery store. I think it's a good thing to get rejected a lot. So you just fall into a pattern of like persevering through rejection. So it was good. Yep. Well, I'm going to go to McDonald's and upload this video onto YouTube because the church we're staying at doesn't have Wi-Fi. But if I don't, I'm pretty sure my mom will kill me. So thank you for keeping up with my blog. Sorry that I have sucked at keeping up with it myself the last 3 days. But I'll get better. So, love you guys. Thanks again. God bless.